It's almost middle November, but it's starting to look like spring. Construction of the spring sports complex continues. Softball pretty much finished. Meanwhile, the sod has been laid for baseball. Both fields on schedule to open spring of 2011. Welcome back to GSI. The grass is growing. Basketball is budding.
The college hoop season begins next week. The Griffons got plenty of tune-up work last week. The men hit the court for the first time last Friday for an exhibition date with Livin' the Dream. Griffons made it a nightmare for them as they cruised to a 103-66 victory. Western had 5 players score in double figures. Jonathan Phelps led the way with 26 points. Griffons open the season next Friday, November 19th. They'll host Avila in the 19th Annual Hilliard Tip-Off Classic in the MWSU Fieldhouse. Western women also open for real next Friday. They had a busy week last week with 2 strong exhibition showings. First, they took Missouri to the wire in Columbia in a 7-point loss. Then, they beat on Benedictine last Saturday in St. Joe. Jessica Cook, the go-to girl in the preseason, she had 15 points against Mizzou, 24 points against BC. The Griffons tip off the season next Friday in Illinois. They'll take on Northern Michigan in the Quincy tournament. Still ahead, he's not necessarily your coaching prototype.
It wasn't that hard of a hit. I can deal with her doing that versus her crushing balls down the line.
We'll get up close and personal with Griffon volleyball coach Cory Frederick when GSI comes back.
Drew looks to his left side. A double move for Andrew Mead. Goes up with one hand and makes an incredible catch. Now looks to his right, gonna scramble. On the end zone, Adam Clausen goes down low to make the catch, and they give it to him. Touchdown, Missouri Western.
It's a great time. It's a great time.
Great time.
Great time.
It's a great time to be a Griffon.
Postseason on the line as your Griffons host Fort Hays Saturday at 1:30. Go Griffs. 2 years ago, they won just 4 games for an entire season. Now the Western volleyball team continues to make leaps and bounds. Welcome back to GSI, joined by head volleyball coach Cory Frederick. Coach, been around the 500 mark all season. Is that kind of what you expected? Are you okay with that?
Oh, well, you know, we never expect that. I mean, we're okay with it in the grand scheme of things. We'd like to be a little bit better, but I think we're up in the middle of the conference, which is kind of where we wanted to start. Now that we've got to the middle of the conference, we need to spend a year and build and get up a little bit higher as the years go on. So we're happy with our performance. We've swept some teams we've never swept before and happy with that, and hope to build on it next year, though.
Cory, this is year 2 for you. 2 years ago, this team won just 4 games. And now 2 years into the process, talk about what's different. What's the biggest thing you've tried to change in your time here so far?
Well, the biggest thing was changing the mentality of the team because they had a losing mentality when I came in. They didn't understand how to win, and we're still struggling with that. We've had matches that we've had chances to win, and they don't understand how to put teams away at the end of a game. That's definitely carryover from a couple of years ago, but we've tried to bring in new players. One of the things we look at is that they come from winning programs where they're at. We want people that are used to success and that they don't accept that failure and losing anymore. And I think that's changed tremendously this year. But we still have a lot of people from that 4-32 team. I think we still have 9 people off of that roster. You know, we need to get that. I don't want to say get them out of here. It's not the right word. They're good people and they're good players, but we need to get their mentality to change along with the new players that we're bringing in, and it's getting a lot better.
And as far as your coaching style goes, you're a little bit different. We're going to show some video right now from Coach Cory Frederick in match.
One of the things you learn, Ryan Minley is kind of a pain in the butt. You'll just get used to him after a while. You're not going to play because you're good. You're going to play because I don't want you bothering me anymore.
You got that?
I hope that's on video. We can't miss that ball again. It's too easy. God blessed.
He doesn't. I've had coaches who get up and like yell in your face, and they're not the most. It doesn't do anything for you. He's just really laid back. And
yeah, it's not a hard thing to read. We're just not playing very well. One of my philosophies is if we're yelling at players to get them to do what they need to do, it's never going to produce success. 2 separate times they beat you 16-6. We've got to just start eliminating those, okay? And they're right in the middle of the game every single time. Just kind of clean that up a little bit, play more aggressive from the get-go, build up our lead, and then we can try to weather those a little bit better, all right?
he usually doesn't talk to us as a group. He feels comfortable with talking to us individually and relaying the message.
Hey! Kelly, have everybody calm down a little bit. We've got to talk more so that those types of plays don't happen. Keep everybody calm and in our system. Let's go. Well, as far as my coaching philosophy, one of the things I like to do is to really let the players learn things on their own. We have a tendency to a lot of times call timeouts, and I don't go talk to the team. It's not necessarily a systematic thing that we need to change. A lot of times it's just giving them a break and letting them be comfortable. And a lot of times we have a tendency just to let them learn things on their own. We don't do a lot of in-match coaching. It's just one of my things I think is that players have got to learn how to do it themselves.
Coach Cory Frederick in game and mic'd up. Now, you won a national championship at Park University with the men, and this was kind of the philosophy that you took with them. You really don't talk to the girls much during the match. Yeah. Talk about why and where that came from.
Well, it depends on what part of the match we're in. A lot of times, players have to understand how to make adjustments on their own. We can't walk out there and do everything for them. It's not like some other sports where I have 30 seconds to talk to them between every single play. They've got to be able to make adjustments inside of plays, and as plays go on, and adjust to those situations. It's just something they need to learn on their own. When they've missed 4 or 5 passes, they don't need me to go tell them that. If there's something systematic we need to change, then we'll go talk to them. But if it's really just, I can't walk into a huddle and say, you need to pass better. That's not going to help anybody. They already know that part. And a lot of it they have to figure out on their own, and they have to learn to support one another. The coaches aren't the ones that make teams win and lose. We're just there to help them along, and I think they're starting to understand that. They have to do a lot of things on their own.
Cory, Ryan mentioned you've done something as a head coach that the majority of head coaches will never do. You've won a national championship. 2 years in here at Missouri Western now, you know the league, you've seen where this program is. Moving forward now, what needs do we have, just glaring needs that we need to address? And then along those lines, is it a reasonable expectation that one day this program can compete for a national championship? I'm not putting you on the spot.
Of course it's a reasonable,
yes, he is.
It's a reasonable expectation without a doubt. We'll get there. We need to start and take steps, and that's what's really hard is to be patient. You know, we need to take the first step is just developing the mentality of the team, getting the right players in that have the right focus, the right attitudes. Once we get that part solidified, then we can start working on the skill session a little more, and then we go and get just a couple of isolated players. Once we really have the whole team dynamic set in place, then it's easier to recruit those 1 or 2 players that can really put you up over the top. And so far, we're progressing right to where we need to be. It just takes a little bit of time.
It's taken time, but you're ahead of schedule, I think, right now. Congratulations on just a solid season so far.
Great job on your GSI debut.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's Cory Frederick. GSI will be right back.
Drew looks to his left side. A double move for Andrew Mead. Goes up with one hand and makes an incredible catch. Now looks to his right, gonna scramble. On the end zone, Adam Clausen goes down low to make the catch, and they give it to him. Touchdown, Missouri Western.
It's a great time. It's a great time.
Great time.
Great time.
It's a great time to be a Griffin.
Postseason on the line as your Griffins host Fort Hays Saturday at 1:30. Go Griffs! And welcome back to GSI. Ryan Menley, Brett Easley. Before we get to our pick'ems, we talk about the big game this Saturday. Western Fort Hays State. Playoff scenario, possibly. We'll just have to see how it plays out. But first things first, Griffins have to win.
Well, they do. And, boy, who thought 2 weeks ago when we walked out of soggy, cold Joplin that we'd had this opportunity? But,
they were left for dead.
Left for dead. You said it at the top of the show. But, boy, what a neat opportunity this week. It's senior day. We've got a great senior class. And, you know, it's more of the same. It's about us. Offensive line's played great the last 2 weeks. Fort Hays State's defense, a little suspect, at least by the numbers. Southern scored 42 on them last week. I don't see any reason this offense doesn't keep on keeping on. And simple as this defense has played well enough to win every week. It continues to get better. The guys up front are healthy. I think Griffins have a great opportunity to win this game this week.
Big question now, do the Griffins make the playoffs with a win?
I'm going to predict that they do. I think it's winning in this week. I think when you compare the resumes, to me, it's us comparing against Midwestern State. Midwestern State, very good football team, but I think we've got the better win. We beat Washburn early on in the year. I don't think Midwestern has any great wins. They play Northeastern State this week, the best of the rest in the North. But I think, to me, I'm not a voting member, but I think it's winning in.
And Washburn, again, 4 losses, top 10 in the region, so that's a good win. And now it is time for our Pick'em segment. Last week, I got to wear the coat.
Drum roll, please,
Who gets to wear it this week? Eric Stoll, crown the winner. And, of course, you get it back. Well, why wouldn't you?
How about this European spread collar at the top, folks? Purple looks good with the Swami coat.
You dress to match for the Swami coat every week, and it does show. Well, I'll tell you what, I went 3-5 this past week, which was terrible. You went 4-4.
Mediocrity rules.
Would you go 4-4? Yeah, 4-4.
I drank the Chiefs Kool-Aid last week. I was fooled.
We were both terrible, but you win by process of being less terrible. Let's take a look at this week. MIAA football. Washburn at Missouri Southern.
These are easy picks on the MIAA side. Washburn's playing great. They'll beat Missouri Southern and Joplin this week.
Washburn's playing well, but Southern's playing well too. That loss to Southern doesn't look that bad all of a sudden now. The Fall Classic.
Who'd you take?
I will take Washburn. But,
okay.
sorry, excuse me, I'll take Washburn. The Fall Classic, Northwest versus Pittsburgh State.
I don't think it's a classic this year. I think it's a stampede. Give me Northwest.
Yeah, it's not a classic at all, but I think it's going to be close. I think Northwest again wins. UNO at Truman.
Tell you what, UNO's a good football team. Truman has played good at times this year, but I think the Mavericks win in Week 11 in Princeton.
Okay, I will take UNO as well. Big 12, K-State at Mizzou.
Well, I'm really down on the Tigers. But senior day in Columbia, I think they get the ship right at the beat Bill Snyder's Wildcats this week.
I will take Mizzou as well. Kansas and Nebraska.
Nebraska 101, Kansas 3. Nebraska gets revenge from that 76-39 beatdown a few years ago.
I'm going to pick Kansas just for the fact that I have
You don't want to wear this coat again.
I don't want to wear the coat again, but I have no shot of catching you if we pick all the same this week. Chiefs at Denver. How about that?
Well, this is a big game for the Chiefs. I was not convinced the sun came up after the loss on Sunday, but I think the Chiefs get the ship right. Denver's 2-6. Give me the Chiefs. I think they've played too well to this point in the year to not play well Sunday.
I will take the Chiefs as well. If they lose, we will find out a lot more about Kansas City.
We will.
That is GSI for this week. Come out to the football game Saturday. Watch Missouri Western football. Try to get in the playoffs. That is Saturday at 1:30. Check us out on our website, gogriffins.com.
Senior day Saturday. Wear gold, go Griffs.
Go Griffs.